All right, so I can hear myself. This is great. All right, so the audio is good. Looks like the camera is working. So a couple things for anyone who's kind of that's a little bit different is so I've set it up now so that we actually have currently streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. Kind of testing out to figure out honestly what platform as far as investment goes, rather than sort of toggle back and forth on like maybe I should do Twitch, maybe I should do YouTube. For now, doing both, since one of the things that I've always had a bit of a challenge with anyways is getting the streams up in a kind of timely fashion as I'm figuring out my own content production, that kind of thing. And so anyways, we'll get into all that in just a bit. So yeah, we're playing around with a lot of infrastructure right now, but it looks like everything is good to go. So which is pretty exciting. Okay, so let's see. How are we gonna All right, so let's start from the top, shall we? So, welcome everyone. We're back. I know it's been a little while. We're back for another Build with Ben session, and so my name is Ben Hong. You can find me on the Internet of Things at BenCodeZen. I'm a Vue core team contributor. Do a lot of Nuxt ambassador, so a lot of like open source kind of things. Also senior staff developer, experience engineer at Netlify. I do a lot of stuff with the web. But honestly, the reason we're here today is because we're here to build stuff. And so for those who, I guess how do I do this? So as far as, for those who've been following along for a little while, I know it's been a little bit quiet on the channel, streaming and that kind of stuff. And a lot of it, I think, is because I've been reflecting a lot a bit on my content production process. And something that, I don't necessarily outline anywhere or write explicitly is when I do things, when I build things, I'm really trying to just share the experience that I'm having with things. I'm not particularly big on doing like sponsored posts, things that are like intentionally promotional, or frankly, just doing things for the sake of SEO and going viral. There's nothing wrong with creating content that way. It's just, for me, that just has never really resonated. And so one of the challenges, I think, when it comes to the content creation game for me has been how to keep that aligned with the stuff I'm genuinely interested in. And so, because otherwise it can, I don't know, how do I say this? It can get away from you as far as chasing the trendy things, trying to figure out what's the next thing that will gain the most view, that kind of thing. The one thing I can always assure you when you come to this channel, when you're looking at my content, is everything is because it's something, everything that I talk about is something I'm genuinely interested or excited about. And if I'm sharing something that's, I'm sharing either my experience or things that I've seen, whether through consulting, through working with other people, and I'm trying to share just the genuine experience behind either technology or the things that we're going to talk about on this channel. So in the meantime, though, one of the things that kind of got to me at the time when I was sort of in the midst of trying to do it all in terms of like streaming and then switching it over to YouTube and then maybe figuring out how to turn it into shorts for like TikTok or Instagram, like it was a lot. Because I kind of lost, it kind of got away from me, the content engine. I had sort of this perfect vision of what I thought things should be, and to be quite honest, I think I let perfection get in the way of progress. And at a point, and then especially when, seeing some of the feedback regarding the fact that some of the videos either came off confusing for some people and that kind of thing, made me realize it wasn't, I don't know, I hadn't delivered the content quite the way I wanted to. And so I got a bit caught up in that. But nonetheless, I had a great chat with Jacob Bolda recently, and was just sort of reminded on the fact that at the end of the day, like, what I'm here to do is offer you my experience, my knowledge, and just share and build things together. For this particular series, in a way that's hopefully helpful to you, and that's the most important thing. I can refine on it, and we can make things better so that people can have an easier time if they're trying to follow along to learn something. But I really want to create this space, in particular this live stream, as a way to just hang out, do some live Q&A, and just talk about things that we're interested in at at a given point. So that's sort of a little bit of an explanation as far as my time away and just sort of where I am as far as coming back to things. But for this next part, I see Quab here in the chat. Hello, how's it going? Okay, so this part, I think we'll probably know. I will plan to clip this because I think this is one of the things that is a bit confusing for those who are new to the series or coming into the videos for this, or coming to the series for the first time. So what is Build with Ben? That's kind of the big question here. I don't know if that actually worked. Hold on one sec. Nope. All right. I was trying this highlight clipping thing from Streamlabs, but clearly that didn't work as expected. Ooh, so Quab here. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the username. I recently built a dice rolling app with Nuxt. It was a blast. That is pretty great. I would love to see that if you can either. I think the chat should be okay to drop a URL, but if not, either like you and I can figure out a way to touch base. But I always love seeing what people build, the different ways they're using Nuxt 3 and review, and honestly in general these days, because there are so many different ways for people to architect things. And so it's always fascinating for me to see how people are doing things. So would love to see that when you get a chance. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so as far as this section, let's talk about build with Ben. That's actually what I need. I want to take the chance to explain. I'll cut this into a shorter video for those who just want the short explanation. All right, so build with Ben. What is this ultimately all about? This is a series and space that I created honestly so that we can code together. This is not a polished tutorial in the sense that like when I come up with a topic as far as what we're trying to do, I want to make sure that we have to learn together. Basically, you're going to watch me think about things live, try to sort through things, work through documentation. And so as a result, what I will say is who Build with Ben is for anyone looking to learn something as quickly as humanly possible. So if you want like a quick tutorial, like for example, let's say, especially want to get back to it, like the Trello Nuxt 3 app. If I'm building it with me, that means that I'm thinking about it live. I'm thinking about trade-offs. I'm making those decisions, and we're gonna go back and forth on things. So it's more of a discussion really about building things together rather than a tutorial on how to do things. Like first we're gonna do this. We're gonna install this dependency, and we do this thing. Like those I think can come with time, and I'll be sure to share any like lessons or stuff I do, especially with like view mastery, front end masters, any of those more polished tutorials. And obviously those will live. And on the YouTube channel, for example, if I do any polish tutorials, those will exist in its own video. But as far as the Build with Ben series, I'm going to try to be very clear going forward that these are basically live Q&As. And so people hopefully come into this with the right expectation and know that this is really just a time for us to spend time, hang out, and for those who can attend live, submit their questions. And then once I get the infrastructure built out, for those who want to submit questions ahead of time, just a chance to kind of get that content out there sooner rather than later, because the time to sit down and record these questions and do a whole published YouTube video, as much as that's in my ideal, currently that's like the perfect world and not quite there yet. So in order to make progress, we're gonna keep this space open for that. And then in the meantime, we'll kind of iterate and move towards that. So anyhow, in the meantime, that's kind of like high level on what Build with Ben is. And so that is good. All right. That said, the thing with Build with Ben that I do want to do differently, though, is while this is a live Q&A and hangout session, I will try to actually have some sort of objective at the end of each Build with Ben, so that there's sort of some beginning and some sort of resolution by the end of it. And so I guess to kick things off, what we're going to do today is, as this session is we're actually going to finish the migration of my site. It's been on Nuxt 2 this entire time, and I've had multiple false starts as far as trying to figure out how to get it to migrate over. But today we're going to, in the span of, I don't know, I think I have about like 34 minutes, we're going to just get it to the end. And so, yeah, let's just jump right in. Let's not. I see Yorick here in the chat. Hello, how's it going? All right, let's switch on over. So live screen, switch. Okay, cool. So our objective today, we are finishing with the migration. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? All right, so there we go. Let's close up some windows. Right, I was doing some checks earlier. There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh, snap. I see Daniel in the chat. How did I miss that? I guess Streamlabs missed it. Oh, wait, hold up. Oh, I see Connor in the chat too. Okay, this is going to be tricky. So I'm testing out Streamlabs as an infrastructure right now, and clearly it's missing some of my chats from Twitch. So I see Dude Man, hello, how's it going? Belaya, hello, Connor, Daniel. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now. Okay. I'll need to figure out how to get all that up and running. But anyhow, glad to have you all along for the journey. Okay, so we are finishing this migration once and for all because it has been plaguing me, I will tell you right now. So let's see, boom, we have that up and running. I think I got the zoom at a good level. So let me go ahead and now let's open up Arc. Boom, let's kind of, just so people have context, because it's been a little while for anyone who didn't watch the past ones. Basically, this is my site right now. It's powered by Nuxt 2. But here's the thing, and this is one of the things that was honestly kind of dragging me down as I was like trying to figure out how to do my content production. Is there parts about this that are just broken right now? And I was like, I have to fix all of this before I start creating content again, you know, regarding the schedule, right? The schedule page is completely broken. And so rather, again, perfection is the enemy of progress. So let's get right to it. We're going to get it up and running back to the Nuxt 3 infrastructure. It won't be perfect, but it'll at least put me on the platform as far as being upgraded to the latest and greatest. And then we can just kind of go from there and keep iterating on it and making it better. So given that, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I already have started some of this work. So again, this is not a true, to what I mentioned earlier, this is not a true tutorial. Whoa, I see Anthony in the chat. Hello, how's it going? All right, so boom, we're opening that here. Okay, so once again, so the key thing here as a reminder is this isn't a full tutorial of a migration, but you're going to see my work in progress. We're going to get this up and running as we go. So basically, as we can see here, if we're looking at what we're working with, I already have the Nuxt content 2 already in here. Basically, it's compatible with Nuxt 3. Okay, Nuxt image edge. I do know, if you haven't seen the tweet from Daniel, they actually did release Nuxt image release candidate 1. So I don't think we're going to get around to that today, because if I'm being realistic and focused, because that's sometimes the hard things with coding, isn't it? Is that you'll get really excited about something, you'll have this objective, and then you get distracted, and you'll be moving on to something else. Hey, I see 0x now here in the chat. What up? How's it going? Okay, so all right, so we have this. Overall, the site is actually holding up. There was a time where I was building this and migrating it that everything was just basically broken, but that is not the case right now. So thankfully, let's go ahead and take a look at what else I'm going to try to finish before I switch the deployment over so that Nuxt 3 is running. That's the latest and greatest, and we can start building stuff on top of that. So first thing first, I need to look at the schedule page again, because golly gee, I really am tired of it being broken. So let's go ahead. All right, I have a basic add to calendar, subscribe on Twitch. Upcoming. Okay, upcoming is broken. This makes sense because this was an upcoming list that at one point was basically fetching a serverless function from Netlify. That's how that was working. So I think it was, let me collapse some stuff so that's easier to follow. Here we go. It was events. I had this whole events client where I was like syncing with Notion, try to figure out how it would work. And it was working at the time, but I'll be honest, the maintenance on it, I didn't quite figure out. So in the meantime, while I figure out how to fix this, right? Progress over perfection. We're just going to fix this up a little bit. So what I want to do, so this is not a component yet, because I could definitely make this at one point, but okay. So we have a couple of properties here that I'm going to see. Okay, we did not figure that out yet. Okay, great. Let's make this a thing. Script lang ts, script setup lang ts. Great. Let's take a look at this real quick. We have an interface. We're going to do event. And so, yes, since for those who haven't been coding along with me in a little while, so I'm starting to sprinkle in TypeScript a little bit into my code base. I know it can be controversial for people who have been hesitant on the TypeScript bandwagon, but the way I think about TypeScript, honestly, it's just a way to document the code that I'm writing and add just some autocomplete to make my life easier. Like that's as shallow as I'm trying to think about it, rather than thinking of it as this like complicated type system that needs to be like shared everywhere. Like progressive enhancement is kind of what I'm thinking here. So to document this, clearly we have a title that's a string. We have some sort of recording date start, apparently. Okay, recording date start, sure. And then it looks like Copilot figured out the rest of the structure here, recording URL. Okay, fine, I can deal with that for now. Okay, great. And so we know, for example, we said that the thing was upcoming event lists. And because we're in Nuxt 3, this means I don't have to import like the ref from Vue 3, which is great. So honestly, I gotta say, I was skeptical at first about all of the auto import components and that kind of thing, because there's something to be said about being declarative about what's being brought into your file. But I gotta say, there comes a point where, understandably so, especially in a code base where you expect people to be familiar with a framework, I do think the auto imports that I think Anthony Fu and along with the team kind of made standard inside of Nuxt 3 is absolutely fantastic. So, okay. Oh, Connor said, da-da-da-da. Okay, great. Back to normal. Okay, good. Sorry, I was delayed on seeing that. Cool. Okay, great. Read only. Boom. All right. So, okay, clearly chat management between the two different streams is going to be a challenge I'll have to work through. But in the meantime, all right. So we have a series of events, and there you go, just like that. This is good. Great. Pretty simple. So what the nice about this is, now that we've done it like this, when we come inside of here, we can see now that our event is no longer just that any object. And so this is what I meant by progressive documentation. I'm not doing anything complicated, to be honest, in terms of like creating reusable types and thinking about this in gigantic type system. I'm really just helping myself that when I'm inside of my template and I'm working out things, you can see that it actually is helping me know what's actually here. And there's actually a helpful error actually right now, which is that there's no ID, and there absolutely should be an ID. So let's go ahead and just jot that down here. And then there we go. No errors. Fantastic. So in the meantime, again, I would love to figure out some, I would love a way for me to do this in a way that's very sustainable and it's a beautiful infrastructure in terms of sharing things. But for now, we're just going to get something up and running because, again, the schedule page has been broken. And so any ideal that I had regarding like how things should be managed, it's honestly, if we think about it, it's honestly a lesson in building things for your users and reminding yourself that even though it's easy to get caught up in infrastructure for like, oh, this is not efficient, it's not optimized. If you're not shipping stuff that's actually delivering value to your customers at the end of the day, I can quibble all I want about the fact that what I'm about to do is like a very inefficient way to manage data. But let's be honest, my schedule page is broken right now. So it's absolutely useless to anyone. And so one thing at a time. And so let's go ahead and just, let's do this right now. And so what do we have? ID1, no, let's not do that. I'm going to use text pastry ID, which you haven't used that in VS Code. Love that. It generates basically like a little hash for you. That's actually a UUID. And so today we did a Build with Ben series. And I think I had it as migrate my session or my website to Nuxt 3. And then as far as dates go, 2023, 06, great. And then time zone, I'm in Pacific right now. I don't know. Is that 5? No, that's probably 3, 2, 8. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But in the meantime, we know that this started, I was trying to start at like 2:30. So 15 or 3:30, 2:30. I can't math right now. Okay, 2:30 is 14. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let's just have the start date. We actually don't even need the end date, I don't believe, because I don't even call that right now. That's there. That's that. Date. Oh yeah, right. The type is yelling at me. That's fine. URL. Fine. Let's save that. Okay, look. Beautiful. We see something on the page that's useful to people. Granted, I want to figure out a better way to. Oh, I did that already. Ha! Excellent. There was part of me that was like, well, no one's gonna be able to read this. How do they know it's in their time zone? Well, luckily, since I already did the new date here, it's already showing basically what I want there in the. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Boom. Oh, how's it going? Hello, hello. Okay. PS2A. Sorry, I am forgetting. Anyways, got distracted. But hello, PS Toa. That's the thing about usernames sometimes. Pronouncing them can be tricky. Okay, so we got this. Clearly, actually, the recording URL is changing now because I'm doing YouTube and Twitch. And so we can just make a slight modification to this where it will be an array of strings. And so I believe the YouTube one, I already copied it. It should be this. So for now, let's just do it like this. Nothing too hard about it. Boom. Okay, so that's being literal. And then we can switch this to an array of strings. That's now not yelling at me. This is great. And then we can honestly, for now, let's just ul, that didn't work, ulli, drop this in v4, let's call it platform in recording, in event.recording.url. Recording, this is why we love autocomplete, because otherwise we can't type URL. And so for those, if you're new to that, that's I'm doing control space. That's how I'm auto-completing. And then from there, we should now have just the platform that should be able, let's see, let's not even worry about the href right now. Okay, not terrible. Yep, that'll do for now. And then we can actually, we can bind it directly to the platform. Okay. And then I do want to make a micro improvement on this real quick because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So we can just have a label and for Twitch and then the URL. I think this makes the most sense data structure wise to me. Boom, boom, YouTube. And then we can call it a day, because it'd be platform.url, platform.label. Oh, I broke something. What did I break? It doesn't, I think that I do URL label. Nope. Didn't like something. What did I break? Not assignable to type string. That shouldn't break this though, I don't believe, because what did I do? I messed something up. Yeah, label URL. What's the problem? href platform.url does not exist on type string. Nope, that worked. Okay, so that was just a weird compiler error. This is yelling at me correctly though, because what did we say? We told it that it would be a type string here. So what I could do, again, just to fix this at the moment, is I can say, I don't know, we'll call it streaming platform is really all it is. I don't like that. Event URLs, I guess. Event URL. Sure, let's do that right now. Event platform, event destination. What am I doing? Okay, don't overthink it. I'm doing that thing. Okay, we have to remember our goal here. Our goal is to submit something useful. I can quibble over the name once this has been shipped. Okay, Twitch, great. Migrate great. Bum bum bum. Okay, great. And so we're going to do one more thing though, because we want to ship something that's useful. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one more event. And we're going to say, oh, it's not auto-completing? All right, very well. All right, so UUID, great, title. And this will be, so this is the official, well, I guess I announced it on social media already, but in terms of having it on the site, Obsidian Office Hours is coming back. We're going to be streaming tomorrow. So you heard it here first. We'll be talking about bookmarks, which is one of the new functionalities that came. Similarly, though, to the Build with Ben, format, that is really about live Q&A. So I will be giving like a more, like an exploratory part on Obsidian bookmarks. And then in the future, if we want to do polish videos and stuff, we'll figure that out. So boom, 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 recording. Date, start, and that will be tomorrow, which is the 7th, and that will also be at 2:30. That is the plan right now. Okay, great. And then recording. Oh, that's why I'd done that. I remember now. Recording URL, and then so for now I can okay, so this is a URL specific to that. So there you go. That's good. URL. No, that did not like that because I messed something up. Oh yeah, why did I do that again? Recording that. Boom. Okay, great. We have the Obsidian Office Hours. We have the Build with Ben. This is great. What else do I want to improve on this? Okay, so actually, you know what? Micro commits. I'm all about micro commits. We have something working now. Okay, so I don't have all the past events. So you know what we're gonna do though? We're gonna open up trusting Obsidian here, and I'm gonna go inside of my Ben CodeZen website. And again, this is kind of a mess right now, but for now, I'll be like, users should be able to see all past events from live streams and recording. This is definitely a to-do that I'll need to look into at some point, but that is not a job for today. We are here to get something shipped. So what do I gotta do? Oh, right. I was playing with the content API. All right. So git commit feature. User can now see upcoming events. Okay. The problem with this, though, at first glance, is the fact that at this point, once this time passes, basically, the build Ben will no longer be upcoming. That will be inaccurate to our users. So we need an ability to have a past event section. So what did I do for that? Let's see, past events. I had this at one point, but I think I deleted it in lieu of trying to just get something up and running. But again, here we are. So we have past events. And so at this point, we can pretty much copy this. Whoop, I did not copy everything that I wanted in there. So this is already repetition number 2. So there's almost something to be said about probably componentizing some of this, but we are getting to our destination. I have to keep reminding myself that. Okay. So knowing what we know now, we know actually for the fact that at this point, upcoming event list is inaccurate. This is actually not the upcoming event. This is really just, at this point, just the event list. And I guess to explain the naming for anyone wondering, we could just call this events. I think this is what most people would do. Over time, I'm still playing around with this, but because one-off errors are so common in programming, I have found that sometimes leaving off the S is an example of a one-off error. So an event list is just very clear that it's an array to me, a list of arrays, a list of events is how I'm thinking of it. So call it a kind of self-documenting type in a sense, if you think about it. It actually, I didn't really think about it until now, but it kind of is that essentially at the end of the day. Okay, so we have this event list, but we still have upcoming event list that we're actually using. That is going to be the computer property. And so from there, we can basically say event list dot value. And then what we're going to do is we're going to filter. Oh boy, can it actually do it? New date. Let's go Copilot. What do you got? Now, new date. Great. Event, new date. Okay, if this date is that. Okay, let's see how good this is. So upcoming event list, that's fine. And then what we're going to do, though, we're going to go ahead. Actually, no, I won't get ahead of myself. Let's test this first. So the way event date is recording date start, that's fine. So let's change the data real quick. Let's change the build with Ben so that it is definitely in the past. It is June 5th. Okay, if it is June 5th, it is no longer appearing. Okay, you know what? That's good enough for me. Although I get it. This is why I had the end date to begin with, because I didn't want people to come to my site while the event was going on and be like, oh, is it still going on? So again, my brain is thinking about ways to automate this so that like when I end my stream, it kicks off a trigger hook to say when it actually ended so that it updates. That's fine. One thing at a time. So what we are going to do though, oh, hello. I see we got Calvin. Hey, thanks for the subscription, for subscribing. Okay, so what we're going to do though, we're actually going to add that end date back in because I actually do think for now that will work out in our favor. So let's just do this and let's keep it simple. We're just going to say, so again, this is in Pacific time. So it really should be this. And then generally for now we're shooting for the hour for the Obsidian office hours. And then we're going to shoot as well start end, and we're going to shoot, this is also shooting for roughly an hour, because we're getting started. That is the key point of all this. So rather than it being about the event date, so it'll be the event end date, and then we'll do end here. and then event and date like that. Okay. So now this should allow our upcoming to show up as expected. So if we refresh, everything looks good. And now we should be able to honestly just flip this past event list, and then we just flip it like that. And then it should, now we replace this part, past event list. And yeah, and then, okay, oh, there's an obvious check here. Else, well, I was gonna say, technically we need an empty state where if there are no events in the past, it won't show up. So really, actually, rather than that, I think the easiest thing would be to, yeah, let's do this. I think, whoops, we're gonna wrap this inside of a, what happened to my, there you go. Wrapping this in a section, and then this section will basically be vif past event list dot length is greater than 0. Basically, that's all we're trying to do. Okay, so basically there are no past stuff right now, and then when it does, it'll show up. This is great. Migrate website, Obsidian bookmarks. First look. All right, I'm actually gonna change that real quick. All right, first look at Obsidian bookmarks. Okay, great. Okay, pretty happy with this overall. So we have something useful to ship to people. So let's actually finish this now. Schedule, yep. It does not switch over. Okay, that is good. Feature, basically add ability to see, to properly see what events are upcoming and what are past. Okay, cool. There are some things I would like to do to make this a little bit easier to read. Let's see, it's 3:20 right now. Still have a little bit of time to check what other things are broken before we just flip it and ship it. And so what I do think, though, as I'm looking at this, I've always thought this part was a little bit harder to read because it's fine if you know the series you're looking for, but people usually are looking for the topic. So as I'm thinking about this structure, it probably makes more sense for series to be its own string, and then for basically like to series and then topic. Because that's what the title is ultimately built up upon. They're built upon these two different things. So now that I'm thinking about it like this instead, this is probably where my head's at when I'm restructuring it. There we have that. And then that way we have our series here. This will also make it, I think, easier to filter in the future when we're actually looking to, because I plan on having actually dedicated pages for Vue and Obsidian resources, because I know that's kind of a fork in my content at the moment. We have like kind of the productivity note-taking stuff. We have the coding stuff. And there are overlaps between the two, but there are times where people, and which is understandably so, want to focus on a specific thing. If that is the case, that's totally fine. And I want to make it easy for them to do that, because right now everything is kind of mixed up together. So, okay, that's good. That's title is now gone, which is totally fine. Because what we're going to do inside of this title, we're going to go ahead and do the topic, and then we're going to do the, whoops, I messed this up, series and then topic. Great, that looks pretty good. But what I want to do, though, I'm going to break it here. And then here, I'm going to want to do a class of series. And then like that. Oh, I do not like the way this reads. Okay, that reads much better. How about this? Can I do this? Okay, that looks closer to what we're expecting here. Okay, so now that we have this, we need to just style this real quick. And so I'm just going to add a title series to this. So this is just a very specific style. We're going to font size. Let's just make it a bit smaller. And then, oh, that's a little too small. 1, sure. Text transform, upper case, save. That didn't work. Oh, typo. I was going to say, I was like, my CSS is not that bad. Better. Okay. something's slightly off to me, and I don't know what it is. It might work. You know what, though? Maybe we dim it a little bit. Color CCC. Just like, yeah, maybe just like a smidge of contrast. CCE. Wait, E is closer to F. Sorry, explain what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out what gradient of gray I want. CCC is usually kind of in the middle. And for those that don't know, FFF is your pure white. So DEBA, let's do that. It's a little, oh, I did not mean to mix that up. BBB. Okay, good enough. A little bit of distinguish visually. I kind of want to focus users to focus on this piece. And then the last piece of it, to be honest, which I don't love the way this line breaks, to be quite honest. So let's see how smart Copilot is on this regard. So if I want to say format event, okay, formatted event date. Can you figure out? Okay, it's gonna take a string, local string, weekday number. Okay, what does this look like? Formatted event date. So if I do this, instead I do formatted event date like this and save it. Okay, that's pretty good, but I need the time. Add time. Okay, let me do this. With time. I'm playing around. What we're doing here is we're playing around to see if Copilot can actually predict what I want. Okay, got it. So it looks like we can just extend it a little bit. Save that. Refresh. Okay, 2:30 p.m., 3:30 p.m. Oh, okay. That actually revealed to me a slight bug. 2:30. Okay, right, because of the time zone thing I did here. 7:2. Okay, great. However, can we add time zone? All right, we're gonna try this one more time. Let me do this. Confirm the date with time zone. Okay, what do you got for me? Go Copilot. But can it just display the time zone? This is where. All right, let's go to some docs at this point. I think we're at this point. Params, locals, locals. I mean, technically, it looks like you can import it as a string. The real Ramin, what up? How's it going? See Kelvin here in the chat. Hello. Yes, I'm glad you caught the stream. I know that. Sorry, I meant to do. I know you did I did the shout out to you earlier, but I'm trying to. I realized I need to get another monitor with a chat here because right now the chat is down here and it is not intuitive for me to look down here at the moment. But progress over perfection, that pop principle, that is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. The only thing I might change to be a little different though is rather than the weekday being long, I just want to keep it short so it's easy to read. Wednesday, June 6th. Can I... What other options are there for day? Okay, again, autocomplete, gotta love it. Oh, it does not. 2-digit numeric. I was kind of hoping they had like the how do I call it? Like the human version of it, where it'd be like June 7th, add the TH to it, but it doesn't look like that is an option. Yeah, that is not an option. All right, that's fine. Numeric it is, not a big deal. The last thing I'm going to think of is whether or not we really need the year. One could argue that for the current upcoming stuff, no, upcoming stuff can even be in the future, like next year. So I'm sorry, I'm honestly starting to optimize a little bit here. So at the bare minimum, what I'll do, because this will at least generally be useful, we know month, day, year, and then numeric. Let's just do that. That way, there's just, for now, there's less confusion. I'll figure out the user experience I want to do behind all of that. But in the meantime, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, year of is older than 12 months. Yeah, I think I'm going to eventually refine this where, like, if I have, like, if people want to see what's coming up next year For example, like if I start having like conferences scheduled, that kind of stuff, I'd love to let people know, but at the same time, I wouldn't want the most recent thing to sit at the top. So that's one of the things where I'll need to rethink the design of this and how to make it easier for people to get what they want. Because my hypothesis at this point is most people coming to upcoming want to know like the upcoming month, or basically like what's something that's more or less actionable to them rather than like in the future. So I don't know. We'll have to think about the design of that. But we have something that works right now. That's what matters. And more importantly, the date is not ugly anymore. The number of times I've seen that date and I'm like, it's fine. I'll deal with it later. No, but this is a demonstrable improvement, I think, over the old card. So feature improved date rendering for events. Okay, solid. Let's see. All right, so we have a homepage. It works. Right now, that works. Okay, our hover thing still works as expected. I'm going to be cleaning that one up a bit, to be honest. If we go to the learn page, though, what do we got? Oh, nothing is happening. What's going on? Oh, so that did work? Something's weird with that navigation. I got to see. Do I have like an app nav bar? Next link to learn. Yeah, so if I go to home, that's clean. If I go to learn, okay, there you go. Learn worked that time. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I have my basic live stream stuff. That's helpful. I was able to start pulling some stuff from Notion. So let's actually talk through real quick. My learn page is here. And so I have started playing around with the Nuxt 3 server or integrating it into my app. So basically, this used to be an actual function, a Netlify serverless function. But one of the things I really like about Nuxt 3 is that it's allowing people to just call it like functions the way they would use them. And then Nuxt 3 and Nitro take care of the deployment process and they'll figure out where it should go from that point on. So at this point, you'll see that inside of my routes, I have this courses server API. So in other words, it's pretty straightforward in terms of like there's a client. This time I am pulling in from Notion to try to manage this. Again, I'll quibble over infrastructure later, but it's using the current Notion HQ client. It'll grab the stuff. And then I personally find the JSON that Notion returns to you like too verbose. And to be clear, I'm not saying that they need to clean it up. I understand why it's structured that way, because that's basically how they're using like the building blocks of their data. But for my purposes, when I'm looking through this stuff in terms of rendering my card, I need the ID, the publish URL, the title, the description. Like I don't need to get fancy. So this is my way of like going through to make sure the returned data is massaged correctly. And so I'm not just sending a bunch of stuff that I don't really need. So that's basically what I'm doing in here. And so yeah, that's all that's happening. So I'm calling that. And then the course is being fetched, and looks like database content. Is that even being used anywhere? Nope. So that's an artifact too. So that's gone. Refresh. Cool. So it's pulling stuff. It's looking good. I want to fill out the data on this stuff, but at least this stuff exists. So yeah, if I intro to TypeScript, it's setting me up for that. Okay. So not card design, not beautiful. Want to do more imagery, want to make this look better, but it is functional. So that's something we can check off the list. The blog, let's see, how's the blog doing? Oh, that's right. This blog was also giving me a lot of problems too. And I'll tell you why. So blog page, right? So I love Nuxt content. And so for those that don't know what that is, let's bump this up real quick. Nuxt content is a plugin or module for Nuxt that makes it really easy to work with markdown files and display it on your app. Within your site. So it lets you work with the content directory. A lot of beautiful things with it. Honestly, I'm probably gonna need to do a whole new video on the new Nuxt content, stuff I love about it, that kind of thing. But again, we're talking about practicality here on this stream. So from the purposes of my end, as I'm trying to figure out better ways to scale out the content and share the stuff that I'm doing. So, you know, in the interest of sharing about things in progress as well, I have a Ghost site right now. So I've been testing out Ghost CMS because I've heard really good things about its platform. And I love the idea that it makes it easy at some point for one to manage things like newsletters. And then if in the future, like actually take the time to create like polish, or not even polish. If I decide to create like paid cohorts and stuff, so people want to go ahead and learn from different things, there's an easy way for me to integrate that back into my site. And that was my high level requirement when it came to looking for a CMS that would allow me to do a lot of this different stuff. And Ghost seemed to check off a lot of it. So I'm sure there'll be more discussion on Ghost at another time for a stream. But so as a result, I was playing around with their blogging platform. And as I'm talking about this, I think this should work. Nope. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. I just have the one page right now. So you can see here, like I had set up a newsletter at one point. There was 3 of them. I had gotten to 3 and then I kind of went through my content slump. It's okay. Newsletters will be coming back, but I got a blog post here. Now here's the problem though. The blog post that I wrote on June 1st exists only on Ghost. I need a way to bring it in. So I've started playing around with the Ghost API in an attempt to try to get that to work. And so right now what you're seeing on my site is the fact that I'm actually able to successfully get the data from Ghost, which is nice. The only problem though is that at this point, oh, even my posts are not showing up. Oh, wait. I'm not fetching any. No, I am fetching posts. What's going on? Oh, that's unfortunate. Blog query content, blog find. Sorry, I have all these blog posts that already exist in Markdown, and they're not showing up. All right. So what's our minimum viable product? Let's focus here. The minimum viable product is I have something that is showing up. So what I can do is for now, I can do Ghost posts maybe, and then we can run through a list of blog posts. Crud. Nope. I'm gonna do this just a little bit hackier. One sec. I need to look. Again, I don't love the way this data is massaged, but it's fine. We're gonna figure this out right now. I'm gonna V4 all these posts in Ghost posts, and then we can just add a quick key of post.id, which exists because we see it here. And then we're just gonna keep this real simple, and we're gonna add a post. There's got to be some kind of URL, something in here. Okay, post.url, great. And then we are just gonna do the post title. Yep. Post.title. And then finally, I did actually have an excerpt for this. So I think this should work. So if we do it like this, save. Okay, great. That is so not what, that is, okay, if I click on this, getting back in the arena, okay, it works. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, here's the blog post. Okay, something's loading weird with the, clearly loading a little bit funny with the Nuxt content, but I'm not gonna worry about this right now because what I'm gonna do now is basically say, okay, so this is rendering. That's kind of interesting to me. Okay, so Dudeman, can you use view with MDX? Oh, yep. So Dudeman, yes. So rather than calling it, well, I guess it basically is MDX. You can include view components inside of Nuxt content. And so it's one of my favorite aspects of it. And it's kind of like using my mic drop moment when I'm showing people it, is that we can include live components. Now, granted, for that reason, there is what I'm trying to say. Because of that functionality, there is a reason for me to actually keep using Nuxt content as a way to publish content. The only thing though, as I'm saying this, is that it does get me away from some of the paid content bit, and I don't know how to solve that yet. That said, one of the things that the challenges that I had when I was building this is that obviously, when you're looking at my blog post, you don't care if it's from Ghost or if it's from Nuxt content, and you shouldn't. And more importantly, I should not be moving you to the Ghost CMS because that's really a headless, oh gosh, I'm having trouble with my words. That is a headless CMS. In other words, it's a place for me to schedule, kick stuff off. It's for automation. It's to help manage my content. So in the meantime, again, for the purposes of moving stuff along, I'm going to open up the blog post list component, and we're actually going to, oh, wait, Okay, yep, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff. This H1 subscribe bit, all that stuff is coming out. Oof, why did it not like that? Yep, that should be fine. What's wrong? Element is missing an end tag. Why is the div missing an end tag? H2 header, div. Okay, I have too many things clogging it up. Here's my div. There's my H1. This is my header. Okay, fine, whatever. Nope. There we go. That here. Yep. Okay, there we go. That's that. Then we post this here. Oh man, this does not look the way I want it to. Blog post container. This is where things get tricky. Okay, nope. Clearly that was the wrong way to do it. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to actually move the ghost post inside of this. So I'm going to drag all this stuff inside of here for now. We're not going to worry about, we're not worrying about displaying stuff because we are trying to just move forward here. So, wow, I had a lot of different ideas running around this at some point. Okay, can this work? Posts, oh yeah, post is here. Query sync here. Yep, that's that. Now I didn't break that. Now this is good. Ghost post here. Okay, great. It at least works. Whew. Okay, struggle. Again, I'll need to figure out how I want to integrate this stuff, but we are trying to ship stuff. The only other thing I realized though is it would be nice if there was a date on this ghost post. So that is actually probably one of the remaining things I want to do before we just ship it. Because right now things are broken. Post ID, post URL, post dot. Do I get a type from this by any chance? Nope, no type. That's unfortunate. All right, I'll deal with that later. So ghost posts. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I'll just pre the post here, and then it is published at. Okay, that's intuitive. I do like that. Post dot published at. Might just steal the API model there. Don't love that. So we're gonna do this real quick. I clearly need to create a reusable thing, but we are in the business of shipping right now, not refactoring. So the thing I did earlier was in Learn, my Learn index page. I'm not gonna worry too much. Wait, was it Learn? No, it was Schedule. Inside of my Schedule page, I had this formatted date bit. Again, this should be probably some sort of utility function. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going over to the blog post list. I'm dropping this in because we're just going to use it real quick. And then we're going to come in and formatted event date. Much prettier. Okay, good enough. Although I guess, is the time necessary? Let's just, for now, I'm not doing time on anything else. So this is actually, so we're gonna actually eliminate the weekday. Let's keep it consistent with the rest of the posts. Hour, minute, time set, time zone, done. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, okay. Styling and stuff can be improved. We can integrate that, but that is the case. Uses is currently broken at this point, which is because, right, it is using the wrong thing. So let's fix this because I am confident I can fix this. So if we do the blog index, here we have the ability to query for this. So theoretically, if I move this over and we query for the uses page, I wonder if this will work. Content, and then, this might end up being a little bit trickier than I am thinking it will be, but we're about to find out. Yep, almost. All right, we're gonna speed run this because I think I know there. It's changed now. The rendering on how you render stuff, it's no longer just, yeah, it's content doc. It's not Nuxt content equals. So maybe this. Okay, let's try this real quick. Content render value equals content. Like, uh-oh. I don't know if this is gonna like it. But we're gonna about to find out. Nope, did not like it. How about content doc? Wait, this should work though. Content render sync hello fetch find one. Okay, value data. Oh, the issue is most likely because it's fetching everything. Yeah, it's not the first item. So if I do find one and refresh, there you go. Now this is just the one item. Now we can revert. Yeah. Come on. That's that. Find one. I undid that. This is here. Save. Oh, yes. Boom. That works now. Okay. Fan-freaking-tastic. About is broken, but I have a feeling we have the same problem. Speed run the heck out of this. Let's go. We have the about page, content render, v if data. We don't even need v if that. That's that. This is good. We are doing this content, save. And if we are, oh yes, gotta love it when things work the way you want them to. The Machinist, how's it going? What color is your Bugatti? Ha! I wish I had a Bugatti. Nope, don't have a fancy car like that. But anyhow, okay, so let's see. Uses page. Oh, dude, man, my uses page. I have dreams for how I want to do the uses page. Like I want to do like kind of like a Batcave thing where like you're choosing equipment, and I'll talk about all my bags, all my gear, all my stuff. I got plans, but fixing this was the most important part of all this. I had to. Every single page is now working. Like I'm actually kind of surprised at myself, but this is what we talked about, right? We talked about just shipping stuff. So I'm at this point, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna micro commit all this stuff. I'm actually just gonna ship it all together. So I'm just gonna call it fix, resolve rendering issue, or yeah, it's a fix, or feature migrate remaining pages to Nuxt content v2 and Nuxt 3. Great. Okay, I think that's it for now. The only thing to do really is to go inside of GitHub, and a couple minutes left. I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, Ben Code Zen. Yep, we're just gonna pull request this real quick. This is probably gonna be a massive thing. Nuxt 3 migration. You might be wondering why I'm doing a pull request to myself. I find that it is nice to just kind of get a sense of how much has changed. I'm not going to walk through code by like every single line, but it's nice to just kind of see what's been going on. So yeah, a lot of things have been deleted, moved. I'm sure I'll figure out places for stuff later, but good enough for now. So I can't approve my own pull request. Can I just merge it? Did I like protect the branch? I clearly did something at some point. Yep, just gonna merge it. Boom. Okay, deleting the branch. Ben Kozen is doing all this stuff now. Although server API, this looks good. All right. So if we go to netlify.com, logging in, taking a look. This is most likely going to break, though, as I realize as I'm talking about this. Because if I'm looking at my deploys, yep, this is not right. This is going to be npm run build going forward. And then main, yep. Site overview, production deploy. Trigger deploy. Let's go. Clear cache. Okay, most likely, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to break because my env environments variables have not been set up properly, if I were to guess. So let's see. It's going to deploy. In the meantime, I'll just quickly fix this. I'm going to go to my site settings, environment variables. There we go. We have a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and add this real quick off to the side. So add variable. Where's my VS Code? Yes. Okay. Boom. Notion API key. And then we're just going to do that. Create variable. Oh, do I already have one? Notion API key. We delete it. Add variable. Notion API key. Boop. Then I only have a couple other ones to add. Sorry for having to do this offline, or sorry, off the screen. Go CMS URL. We're adding the variable next for the CMS key. And finally, I am, oh, that's good enough. Okay. So this is basically what happened. Boom. So there I added a bunch of keys. So you can see here that you can set basically different contexts. What's nice about one of the upgrades to Netlify recently is the fact that you can actually set the environment variable for different contexts. So you can be like, for branch deploys, use this. For production, use this. I actually really like that. They made this super easy. So one of the things I do really like about that change. In the deploys, hey, did it actually publish? Sort of. You know what? It did ship, to be honest. The learn is surprisingly working. The blog is working. How did it do that? Maybe I updated the key right at the right time. Some things are clearly still need a little bit of work, but I'm going to retrigger this one more time for posterity. And then I think that's that. So we did it. We shipped. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'll do the thing. I'll check the stuff, and we'll figure that out later. But all right. So going back. Oh, I just realized I spent this entire time without the background music. I had that set up. It's fine. I'll try that another time. Okay. So we did it. We actually accomplished from beginning to end. Granted, the migration wasn't from as it made sense and deleting different dependencies. So obviously you can do a comparison to my history back then if you really want to look through what's going on. Holy smokes, something is going on. But that's fine. I'll figure that out another time. Anyhow, a big thanks to everyone for joining today. I know it was great to see a lot of you back in the stream. The comments were great. Helps remind me, honestly, what I loved about live streaming this stuff. So with that said, I think that's it for the day. Again, tomorrow I'll be back to talk about Obsidian. So for those who care about that or want to hear more about that, I will see you tomorrow. But other than that, thanks everyone for hanging out. And then in the meantime, I guess I'll make sure stuff is updated to the benkozen.io/schedule page. And looking forward to just getting, putting those efforts in as far as, gosh, I'm stumbling over my words, but that's okay. Basically, what I mean to say is, I'm gonna be here now. The schedule will be up. I'm trying to do this on a weekly basis, so we're just gonna show up, build some stuff together, and then over time, I think as I get more into a groove, for those on the YouTube channel, if you're looking for the more polished videos, hopefully we'll see more of that coming out. But in the meantime, at least you'll have some stuff hearing from me. And then blogging, that is definitely going to be a bigger thing. So that way you all will see little snippets of ideas that I'm having over time. So I'm really excited about what's to come and glad to have you all here. The real ramen, when can I buy swag? You know what? I'll think about that if and when that makes sense. So definitely, I definitely did want to play around with some of the logo stuff I have with the dragon, but I'll keep you all posted as far as that goes. So appreciate y'all for hanging out today. And with that, I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.